Welcome, listeners, to The Great British Respawn, the podcast where YouTube gamers get the microphone, the spotlight, and if they behave, the metaphorical biscuits. I'm your host, Armoured Annie, and we're exploring behind the scenes of the strange and wonderful world of some of your favourite gaming content creators. So get your headphones sitting comfortably, and we will begin as we meet a creator today whose name isn't just catchy, it's an acronym. It's Ogopogo. So welcome, Ogopogo, to the Great British Respawn and my lovely little purpose-built, well, not really, studio here in Centre Pond in Subsistence. It's lovely to have you with us.
Addie, thank you so much for inviting me. And when you it was about a month ago or so, a little over a month. And of course, my schedule, I couldn't get it to click with yours and keep busy and whatnot. But
and your people spoke to my people and, you know.
Yeah, we finally got it together. But I appreciate the invite. It was an honor to be invited. So thanks so much for that.
That's all right. Well, as I said to you, you were always going to be interviewed here because, as you know, you're one of the reasons why I'm doing this channel. So I wanted to know what possessed you to start a YouTube channel. How did you actually start doing this?
You're actually making me blush. Okay, you can't tell by the look on my face.
Oh,
there.
I just thought it was your feet that were blushing.
No, they're purple, actually. Well, you know something? Back when I was younger, let's go back quite many years. I always had this fascination for media of sorts, but more so radio. I wanted to be a radio personality.
You had a face for radio.
Yeah, a face for radio, exactly. That's why I don't use a webcam on my streams.
Yeah, I feel that. I know that feeling. Yeah.
But it's just something I always wanted to pursue. I was fascinated by it for some reason. But my grandfather, who was really old school, he was a big influence in my life. He doesn't understand that kind of thing, and he didn't figure there's a future in that. So he talked me into trades,
right,
which I ended up pursuing. But then, as I got a little bit more into the gaming and stuff like that, I was a gamer for, since the Atari 2600 and stuff. But when I realized that there was actually guys playing games and putting them on YouTube and stuff, I started watching guys like Game Edged and Cage and Ogopogo and stuff like that. And at the time, they were playing Subsistence that hadn't been released to the public yet. And I was really intrigued. I'm going to take a stab at this someday. I never got jumped on it right away, but eventually, I think it was 2021, somewhere in there, I finally bit the bullet and decided to take a shot at it. And that was kind of my inspiration is those guys in particular.
So it was kind of Subsistence that made you think, oh, I could play that and do that. Was that the first thing was that your first video? Was it a Subsistence video? Do you remember?
It was. Actually, the very first video I put out was just a trailer because, I love to create too. I've always dabbled in Photoshop and After Effects and stuff. So I made a little bit of a trailer introducing my channel to whoever would watch at that time. And, to be quite honest with you, I thought, okay, I'm going to be YouTube's massive. There's all these big streamers. I'm going to be at the bottom of the pile. Nobody's going to watch. That's going to give me a time to iron things out and see where I fit in, sort of thing, right?
Yeah. I
never anticipated I still refer to as an explosion of people that came and started hanging out on my channel, and it blew me away.
I think that is this Subsistence. For those sort of listeners who haven't sort of played Subsistence, it really is, like a lot of games, but it really is quite a niche game that has a real loyal little core community. And there wasn't that much content on YouTube about Subsistence. You say you had sort of Game Edge and those doing that, but when it came out, there were a handful. So anybody who was playing Subsistence, automatically, there were people there that wanted to watch, and you just built a great little community around it, which was amazing.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what's your setup there, your actual tech setup? I would imagine it's changed quite a bit since you started.
Oh, absolutely. When I first started, I had taken a hiatus from computer gaming for quite a while, and I was more or less just dabbling with Photoshop and stuff. And at the time, I had this FX 6300 processor and a gaming Aura board, an Asus gaming Aura board, and it wasn't a gaming setup.
Right.
And I only had a 1050 video card at the time. But with help with Karan, Karan,
Yeah.
Really tech savvy. He knows his stuff, and he helped me make some tweaks and then some adjustments that was able to allow me to run OBS and subsistence at the same time. So I was elated. We made it work for the longest time. But since that point, and with the help of a lot of my my viewers and stuff, their contributions, I've got a Ryzen 5600X and a 64 gigs of RAM. I started off with a 3060 card, and then I had one of my friends' viewers that sent me a 4060 Ti, and then just recently, my buddy Bob Wire sent me a 4090.
Wow.
And so I've beefed up that end of it quite well, but I still find at times that, as a matter of fact, I'm in the middle of another project. I find at times that I still get a little bit of game lag because of OBS using up some of the processor and whatnot. So I'm actually building with the old parts I've got. I'm building a PC that's going to be just dedicated to streaming. So that's going to take off free up the resources on my gaming rig.
Oh, excellent. And have you got sort of 3 monitors?
Actually, 4. I've got one that's a portrait, and that's for my chat as I stream pretty much full time.
Yep.
And then I've got one for my OBS and one for my game, and then one for whatever else I need. Look up like in Icarus, I use Icarus Intel, which is a map showing you where the caves and stuff are. And so I've got access to a lot of monitors, actually.
Yeah. I thought I was all right with my 3, and now everybody I do, so many of them have got 4, and I'm like, I want a 4th monitor now. When I stream, as you know, as you say, you've got your chat and you've got OBS and I've got YouTube Studio open, and there's too many things on one screen.
Well, that was it. And when I first started, I only had 2. Well, actually, I had 1 monitor. Then I added a second one. But and then those that play subsistence know that it's not an easy game to tab out of.
No.
So I was constantly, there was a lot of edits in my videos.
Yeah. Then when you start streaming, you have to have a "I'll be right back" kind of screen that you can bring up.
Exactly.
So how do you choose the games that you play?
How do I choose them? For whatever reason, I'm not I kind of skim through reviews on Steam. I watch the trailers. I'm not one for watching others play before I play. I like to go into games blind and have that element of surprise and frustration as well.
A genuine learning curve.
Exactly. But I don't know. I'm a big fan of the survival genre, of course. And I don't know. I've got like most of us, I've got a library full of games that
you never play.
I've probably got 2 or 3 minutes in, or even cracked open. I think I've got a few I haven't even installed yet, but it's just kind of a random thing, and you just kind of get a feeling, So
this is a question that I love hearing the answers to this one. So either underrated or overrated games, things that you love that everybody else just can't seem to see the fascination for, or things that everybody raves about and you've had a go, you've had a look, and you just think, nah, I don't get it.
That can go both ways, really. I mean, subsistence, I think, is highly underrated. I think that the game itself and the time and effort that Cold Games puts into it is it's always been had a very special place in my heart.
Yeah.
I think I've kind of taken a bit of a break away from it lately. Like I explained to you a little earlier, I went in to check out. I do go in and check out the updates and stuff like that, but I played it so much that I just needed a break away from it.
Yeah.
But it is a highly underrated game. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you get these games that are hyped like crazy. Like, for instance, at the moment, Dune Awakening it was such a hype game. And it's kind of funny to watch on Twitch, actually. When the game gets released or early release, everybody and their dog is playing it. And then 2 or 3 days later, it's back to just a random assortment of games that are being played.
Yeah.
There's so many things that still need to be done in the game. And the price tag on some of these more hyped games is absolutely crazy, but there's more faults in those. And then you take a guy like Cold Games that will not release an update unless it's working perfectly, you know?
Regardless of what anybody says, it's going to come out when it comes out, and we just have to wait.
That's it. Yeah. That's Cold Games, so.
So can you remember a video, anything that stands out that flopped, or maybe it's a series, something that you thought, right, I'm going to do this, maybe it was a new game that came out and you had a go and it didn't it didn't go, or you tried streaming on Twitch and nobody seemed interested?
Okay, Annie, that goes on all the time and still does to this day. No. Like I said, I built my YouTube community on subsistence mainly, and I dabbled with a couple other little survival games and stuff like that. When I kind of veered into Red Dead, the role play, that kind of took off. But I've always loved sim racing, and I set up a whole sim rig. It just flops. It like there's nobody has that interest, but it's because I've built myself on. I feel it's because I've built myself on the survival genre.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, you have a loyal few that will always try to watch and support no matter what you do, and we always really appreciate them as content creators. But
absolutely,
you also want to bring other. And if you're doing it and nobody's showing up, it's yeah.
Well, and I can understand I could actually build a racing community portion of my community, but then that's leaving the survival guys in the dark sort of thing. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I don't want to let them down, right? So,
because otherwise you're trying to divide your time between half on the racing and half on the survival, and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a bit of a downer because I do love that sim racing thing, but you know what? Maybe for another time.
So have you had many, I sort of know the answer to this one. Have you had many rage quit moments when either quitting a game or quitting, being a streamer, just where it's like, no, done, out?
Like you said, you know me, and I've got quite a potty mouth to begin with, and I'm not afraid just to voice it. But I think pretty much every video and every stream there was a thought process of like, why am I doing this?
Especially when you get caught in a death loop. Yeah.
Oh, death loops, they're the worst.
I'll never ever forget that one on your save with Beach where you got caught in the death loop down to the caves, and
oh my God.
I think we were all expecting you either to quit or almost we wanted to rage quit on your behalf. It was like you couldn't tear your eyes away from the screen as you just died again and again and slowly lost everything. And it's just like any minute now he's gonna have to quit.
Yeah, there was a few intense moments. I remember that vividly. I think quite a few of the viewers did, but yeah, and there's in other games too. Icarus, I get into some wicked death loops in that one too, because I do stupid things to myself, like just to be not to show off, but to be a goof and to go down there with absolutely no workshop items and to start off with stone equipment and stuff like that, landing in the desert when you got cougars and scorpions chasing you around.
Yeah,
it's just not a lot of fun, but the viewers seem to get a kick out of it, so I kind of roll with it. Take my blood pressure medications and go with it.
Yeah. So talking about viewers, what's the weirdest comment that you've had or interaction that you've had with a commenter or viewer?
I had one fella, actually. Our Pageo and I were doing co-op hardcore, and there was a fella there for a period of time, and he would just not let up. He was constantly commenting on how boring it was because all we were doing is running around chopping trees. It was the beginning of a playthrough, right? Like, I mean, that's kind of what you do, guy.
Right? Yeah.
Kind of hard to build a base without materials and whatnot. But and one comment he made that just kind of set me off was he said the video was actually pretty good, but the music was rubbish. And so I finally replied back to him, and I just said, yes, so are your comments. And that was the last I ever heard of him.
Oh, that's brilliant. It's like, what music? Does he mean like your intro music? I mean, there is no music in Subsistence.
Like the intro music, it was like a few minutes before we started the stream, and that's what he was concerned about. But other than that, I've had some incredible support both on YouTube and on Twitch, and it's something that I've always had a deep sense of gratitude for. And I don't know, like I said, there's never anything. I've probably given more weird comments that I've received. So we'll put it that way.
So talking of support, do most of your friends and family know what you do, or is it sort of a secret persona or something that you try to keep, obviously, your real name, stuff like that, separate, just to sort of protect your your privacy and everything, but do people know?
Oh yeah, my family. Well, my mom and my wife are actually pretty big supporters. My wife especially, she's my rock, and she gets what I'm doing, and she supports me fully on that. My mom, of course, I got to explain, the technology end of it to her and whatnot. She doesn't understand that people actually sit and watch games. Mind you, at the same time, she's flipping through her Instagram laughing at all the little videos that she watches. But yeah, they're pretty supportive for sure.
I always find it's a bit difficult with friends because you want them to support you and you know that they will support you. But then there's always a part of me that thinks, I hope you remember. I said to them, don't forget, if you do watch, you do comment. Can you remember that not to reveal anything about my name or anything like that? Because, do you know what I mean? They could quite easily make a comment and be like, no, don't say, oh yeah, it was good meeting you down such and such, because now you've just told people where I live and things like that.
That's like my brother-in-law. He's okay. His language is worse than mine when it comes to a potty mouth. And he came into my stream. I had, I think, 32 people in there, and he started calling me the C word. And but I had to kind of like, hey dude, like, you want to just kind of lighten up a little bit? Like, I know I kind of rattle stuff like that off, but I'm not that, blunt and bold.
Oh, that's brilliant. It's like Michelangelo said where his son, I think he said his son came into one of his streams and actually got the stream demonetized because of how they were going backwards and forwards with each other.
Oh, no
brilliant.
way.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Absolutely excellent. So, I mean, you said a little bit, jumping ahead here, but you said a little bit about trying to explain to your mum the technology. If you're trying to explain your channel or what you do to a grandparent, to someone a generation above that, sort of, your mum's generation or above, really, how would you choose to try to say, this is what I do for a living?
Annie, are you forgetting that that's pretty much our demographic to begin with?
No,
I make granny videos all the time.
At which point I must sort of say, I introduced you as, you're not just, you're not just you are an acronym. Explain what your title is, what it means.
Well, Ogopogo is actually a mythical creature in the Okanagan Lake in British Columbia, Canada, up here. That's supposed to be something like the Loch Ness Monster.
Yes.
And I kind of was sitting there one day when I was thinking about doing this whole gig, and I thought, old guy often making older games obnoxious, old guy often playing older games obnoxiously. And I just kind of went with it. So Ogopogo.
That's just brilliant. Brilliant. I'm always surprised, actually, you said about our demographic. I do tend to forget how old I am, and it's just as you say. But we've been gaming, as you said, since Atari's, Commodore 64s, and so the gaming side of it isn't. I think it's the social media aspect. How do you explain that people watch you play a game?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever really tried. Yeah, I just kind of say, like I said, my mom, she can't believe that people would actually sit there for 6 or 7 hours with me and watch me play a video game. And I said, well, there's a few that do stick around the entire stream, but there's quite often people just pop in, say hi, and pop out or whatever. I said, but it's a thing. I said, go look on YouTube. I'm guaranteed on your first page, you're going to find somebody playing a video game.
Yeah. So do you script what you do? I suppose for streams, there's less scripting, but do you go in knowing something that you want to achieve for a stream?
When I first started off, I my first few videos, I was really trying to follow somewhat of a script, but I found that didn't work for me, and just being myself and whatever worked a lot better. I don't script anything. However, I do get a bit of an idea of what direction I want to go with that stream or whatever I'm doing at that point in time of the game. You know what I mean? I kind of get a general idea, but I just kind of wing it. I think it's when it's a little bit more natural, it comes across a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've tried to kind of script things, but like I said, it just doesn't. I end up flubbing and getting, and then that's when the rage quit comes in.
Do you game? Do you get time? I mean, for listeners, maybe if they're new to you, if they're not a subscriber, by the way, please go and subscribe to him on Twitch. I will go and drop the links in the description of this video. But Ogo streams for sort of up to like 6 hours a day, sort of five days a week. You do, don't you?
5 days a week during the summer and 6 days a week during the spring. However, with this, we've been going over to Mum's every weekend, so I haven't been doing too many Saturdays here lately. But yeah, 5 days a week pretty much. So
do you find time or have the interest in gaming off camera, or effectively if you're gaming, you're streaming?
The only time I ever really, I try to keep everything balanced as far as my wife and my dog and stuff goes. So when she's at work, that's my gaming time. That's my streaming time. And after that, I barely touch the computer. However, there are evenings where she's pretty burnt out. She'll go to sleep. I'm not ready to sleep yet, so I'll get up. And what I do at that point is just kind of go in, whatever I'm streaming at the time, like Icarus or Subsistence or whatever, I'll just do a little bit of grinding.
Right.
Other than that, I don't really do much gaming outside of what I'm streaming.
If your channel had a warning label, what would it be? What do you think it should be?
F for F-bombs. There's lots of those that happen. Actually, and on Twitch, I've even got an F-bomb emote.
Oh, really? Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I would say you have to have you can't have sensitive ears watching my content.
So not suitable for sensitive ears, maybe.
That's just it, yeah.
So come on then, give us a weird or interesting or fascinating fact about you IRL.
Oh man. I consider myself such a plain guy. I guess I pee sitting down, maybe. Not right now, not in your chair.
I was going to say, do you mind? You're sitting in my chair. Oh, no.
Well, Arpeggio sat here too, didn't he?
He did sit there, yes. So he probably left something for you.
Yeah. No, actually pretty run-of-the-mill kind of guy I consider myself. I don't think that there's anything...
Something that people would be surprised to hear about you. People that only know you through streaming, through what you do, but something that they might be surprised to know about you.
Wow, that's kind of a tough question, really. I don't really think there's...
You've got pink hair or something,
Actually, I did at one point in my life. It was kind of funny, actually. I had this back in the day when the tails were the big thing.
Oh, yes.
And I had a tail that was down towards the middle of my back, and it was dyed like a maroon burgundy kind of color.
Oh.
And I was staying at my grandparents for a weekend, and I was standing there making a pot of popcorn on the stove, and I felt something tug on the back of my hair, and then I heard this snip and hear my grandpa come and cut it off.
Oh, that is superb.
And then he asked me, he says, so like, how do you get it to stand up like that on top? I said, I just use this moose shit. And he said, moose shit? Sorry for the vulgar language.
Oh, that's superb. I'll tell you what, do you ever look back on moments like that and think, I am so glad that we did not have social media then? I have my memories, and there might be a few photos of some things, but generally speaking, all the stupid stuff that I did, it's not on Facebook. It's not in the internet. There are no pictures anywhere.
Oh, yeah. I grew up in the perfect time, man. Everything just worked out swimmingly well for me that way. I would have been part of the cancel culture for sure, I'm sure.
Oh, well, okay. It's been absolutely amazing to have you here. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come in. It's really meant a lot to me. I know you're busy, and yeah, I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Annie. And again, I thank you for having me. And it was really good to sit down and have chit chat with you for sure.
Yeah, well, I'll drop all your links in the description. So please make sure you go over and sub to Ogo and check him out. Go over to Twitch and hang out on one of his streams. And I will see you guys back here for the next episode. Bye-bye for now.
Take care.